Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back again in my class with me, Miss Yaya. Okay, innal hamdalillah nahmadu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa may yudhlil fala hadiyalah. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin, segala puji hanya milik Allah, kita memujinya, memohon petunjuk kepadanya, memohon pertolongan darinya, supaya kita tetap dimudahkan berada di atas jalan yang lurus, jalan yang dituntun oleh Allah. Dan tidak lupa pula kita kirimkan salawat berataikan salam kepada Rasulullah SAW yang dan mudah-mudahan salawat yang kita sampaikan ini dengan ucapan Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad sampai kepada beliau, kepada para sahabat, kepada keluarganya, dan kepada diri kita sendiri. Mudah-mudahan salawat ini menjadi syafaat bagi kita di yaumil akhir kelak. Anak-anakku yang berbahagia, yang sekarang berada di rumah, just stay at home, jangan kemana-mana karena kita mengkhawatirkan keadaan saat ini kita berada di fase mungkin gelombang kedua dari corona. Dan mudah-mudahan semua outbreak ini segera berlalu dan berakhir dan kita bisa masuk ke era seperti dulu, bisa bertemu lagi, bisa ke sekolah, bertemu teman-teman, bertemu guru-guru dan I'm myself can teach in front of the class like before. Tapi untuk saat ini kita selalu bersyukur kepada Allah. Apapun yang terjadi, kita harus selalu bersyukur kepada Allah. Mungkin ini bentuk ujian dan cobaan kepada kita untuk kita lebih mengintrospeksi diri kita. Well, my students, today in my class, for the second meeting, we still talk about introducing yourself, but in different level. Last week we have talked about introducing yourself. We talk about introducing yourself for formal dialogue, but it is only a short dialogue and only for one direction. You introduce yourself to me or to your friends only for one direction. There is no conversation in it. It means like you talk about yourself. Hello, my name is Andy, for example, like that. I was born in Padang. My junior high school before was blah blah blah. So for today, we will talk about introducing yourself, but okay, for formal and informal. Okay, for these steps, I have separate with five part. The first one is formal introduction. The second one informal, and then we will discuss a little bit about grammatical. We call it pronoun, and also we talk about simple present tense, and the last step is letter of introduction. But today we are focused on formal. Okay, I want you to imagine. I want you to think, when will we use formal greetings? When we are in this situation, for example, like when you are working someday, or maybe when you are meet someone in the restaurant, in hotel, or maybe in travel agent, or maybe you booking a restaurant, or maybe you book a hotel, or maybe you want to go somewhere and you go to travel agents. In this situation, we use formal greetings. And when, yes, oke, kapan lagi kira-kira kita menggunakan formal greetings ini? Selain tadi ketika kita mau booking restoran, kemudian kita mau ke hotel, booking hotel, atau kamu mau jalan-jalan, kemudian kamu menyewa sebuah travel agents. Nah, ketika kita bercakap-cakap, itu kita menggunakan formal greetings. Nah, apa itu formal greeting? Formal greeting is something like you meet someone informal situations and you say good morning ma'am, good morning sir. That is a formal greetings ya. Dan kapan lagi kira-kira kita menggunakan formal greeting ini? For someone older than us, untuk seseorang yang lebih tua. For example, like when you meet with me, we can use a formal greetings. At work, when speaking to your superiors. So, for example, like I meet with the headmaster or principals, I will use a formal greetings. And meeting a VIP, example politicians. So when we meet politician, mungkin DPR, yes, a president atau mungkin governor in our province, we use formal greeting. Is impossible. We use informal greeting by saying, "Hi, Pak Gubernur." Is impossible. So we can use "Selamat pagi, Bapak Gubernur," for example, like "Selamat pagi, Bapak Presiden," for example, like that. So, in formal greetings, we need to be polite to someone we don't know very well. We need to be polite to someone that older than us. So, what is the formal greeting here? The first one we use good morning. Good morning, Fatih. And then we use good afternoon and good evening. For example, like good morning, sir. Good afternoon, madam. Good evening, Mr. Jones, or good evening, Mrs. Smith. Okay, after greetings, we come to introducing yourself in formal situations. Here I have six kind of introducing yourself in formal situations. But the first one, we said greeting first, and the second, we introduce ourselves. For example, like, good morning, Mr. Jones. I just want to introduce myself to you. Or good morning, Mr. Jones. I don't believe we've met before. Or good morning, Mr. John. I don't think we've actually met. And after you say this and you say your name, good morning, Mr. Jones. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is blah blah blah. And I am blah blah blah. Okay. Now, for introducing someone else in informal situations, maybe you bring your friends, you go with your friends, and then you want to introduce your friends to someone else. So you say, Mr. Jones, I like to introduce to you my friends. Or there is someone I like to meet. There is someone I like you to meet. This is Wahyu, for example. This is Honey, for example. Have you met with her before? Okay. So the first one is greeting. The second one introducing yourself in formal situations, and the third one introducing someone else in formal situation. Jadi untuk introducing someone else, it means that kamu memperkenalkan seseorang yang lain kepada seseorang yang baru. Misalnya kamu mau menginterview untuk sebuah koran sekolah dan kamu bertemu dengan politisi dan kamu dengan teman kamu dan kamu bilang selamat siang Pak, perkenalkan nama saya Bambang, for example like that. And then Pak, saya di sini ada teman saya di sini namanya Hani, dia teman satu kelas saya. Hani silahkan ini Bapak Bambang, for example like that. Jadi di situ ada kamu memperkenalkan diri, kamu kemudian memperkenalkan orang lain. Oke. Okay. And expressing pleasure to have met someone. Jadi expressing pleasure ini berarti bahwa kamu mengekspresikan kebahagiaan atau kamu senang untuk berkenalan dengan seseorang. Here in English kita menyebutnya dengan pleased to meet you. Senang sekali berkenalan dengan Anda, senang sekali bertemu dengan Anda. Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. For example, like, pleased to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, madam. Very nice to meet you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. And what is the response when someone pleased to meet you? When someone pleased to meet us, for example, when someone say, nice to meet you, Miss Yayat, and I will say, I'm happy to meet you too, or nice to meet you too. Well, students, Anda semua, now we come to example of short dialogue in formal situations. Like, take a look.
Good morning, Professor. How are you doing?
Good morning, Peter. I'm doing well. And you?
I'm great. Thank you. Professor, this is my friend Andy. She is thinking about applying to this college. She has a few questions. Would you mind telling us about the process, please?
Hello, Andy. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm more than happy to speak with you. Please stop by my office next week.
It's a pleasure to meet you too, Professor. Thank you so much for helping us.
Don't mention it. Hopefully, I will be able to answer your question.
Okay. Uh, Now I know there are some mispronounced here because you know that I only have my son and my husband, my daughter at home. So I asked, I needed help of my sons, and he helped me to become a teacher, and my husband helped me to become a professor. But I'm really sure that you can practice the dialogue with the correct pronunciations. Well, here Peter said, "Good morning, Professor." So, good morning is a greetings for formal situations. So, Peter said, "Good morning, Professor. How are you doing?" Okay, and Professor said, "Good morning, Peter. I'm doing well. And you?" "I'm great, thank you." "Professor, this is my friend Andy. She is thinking about applying to this college. She has a few questions. Would you mind telling us about the process, please?" "Hello, Andy. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm more than happy to speak with you. Please stop by my office next week." "It's a pleasure to meet you too, Professor. Thank you so much for having us." "Don't mention it. Hopefully, I will be able to answer your question." Here in this dialogue, we can find greetings, introducing yourself in formal situation, introducing someone else in formal situation. Jadi ketiganya masuk di sini. Ada good morning sebagai greeting, ada memperkenalkan diri, saya Peter gitu ya. Good morning Professor, apa kabar? Kemudian si Peter memperkenalkan temannya Andy, kemudian Andy memperkenalkan dirinya. Nah, ini komplit di dalamnya. Informal situation, that we talk. Ini yang kita sebut sebelumnya bahwa ini adalah formal situation karena profesor adalah guru mereka gitu ya. Okay, next. Uh, there is some kind of exercise that I want you to finish, and you make it in your task and you give to the Google Classroom like before. Please mention 5 parts of formal greetings below based on the dialogue. Jadi kamu jawab 5 buah pertanyaan ini, isi titik-titiknya ya, kemudian kamu kirimkan di Google Classroom kita. Next, kita punya, okay, this one. Fill in the blank with the right answer. Di sini ada percakapan juga dan Miss mau kalian untuk menjawab titik-titik yang ada di sini dengan kalimat yang tepat. Jadi ada 1, 2, kemudian 3, 4, dan 5. Ada 5 buah titik-titik yang harus kalian isi. Good morning, Mrs. Bryan. Kemudian apa jawaban Mrs. Bryan? Di situ ada titik-titik. I'm fine, thanks, and you. Dan untuk ini, kalian juga tulis di Microsoft Word-nya, di Google Classroom-nya. Dan dialognya lengkap seperti ini kalian tulis. Kemudian persis seperti ini, titik-titiknya kalian isi. Dan nomor 1 dan 2-nya tetap ada di situ, tapi titik-titiknya diisi gitu ya. Jadi persis seperti ini, bukan jawabannya saja. Okay, guys. I think that's all for today because we only have a short time in meeting. Jadi pertemuan kita satu hari itu hanya 30 menit untuk satu mata pelajaran. So I don't want to give a lot of tasks ya. Kami tidak mau memberikan materi yang panjang, kemudian tugas yang banyak karena kita butuh untuk meningkatkan imun begitu ya. So I think that's all for today. Thank you for your attention and don't forget to make your assignments. Give it on time. Jangan lewat dari waktu yang telah ditentukan. Terima kasih sekali lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.